Hey, I'm Nick Chubb. I play running back at Cedartown High School. I live in Cedartown, Georgia.
Should Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the NFL really lately, stick with the Cleveland Browns? The former Georgia running back coming into contract season. These next couple of years are really important. Nick is going into his final season with the Cleveland Browns under contract. So I've got a lot to say about this, and Nick does too. This is what Nick had to say about his time in Cleveland and what he would like to have happen, which is to stay with the Browns. He says, it would mean a lot. Cleveland drafted me and trusted me and put their faith in me to help build this culture and this team I'm a part of. Cleveland is where I want to be. Hopefully, everything can work out in that direction. I hope Nick gets what he wants too, but we really are at a critical time in his career. A running back in the NFL is only going to get so many big contracts, and the second contract is always the most important one. So why am I talking about Nick today? Well, one reason is he's really one of the most popular guys that ever played at Georgia. You know, coming out of Cedartown, signing the same year that Sony Michel, who turned out to be a first-round draft pick. Those two were instrumental in Georgia's run to the SEC championship in 2017. Just an explosive year for Nick in 2014. I'm going to talk about that later. But when you're in the NFL and you're on the last year of your contract, which Nick's going into right now, it's money time. It's go time. And I think that's really what we've hit here for Nick. Sport Track values Nick's contract or his abilities here for the next few years at about a little above $12 million a year. So for those of you who don't know, in the NFL, your first contract depends on what round you were drafted. And Nick was just narrowly drafted outside of the first round, which means after year 4, he becomes a free agent. The NFL teams can lock you in with a franchise tag for the year after your first contract, or the year after your contract expires, but that means no one else can be under the franchise tag. This, that, and the other. So they've got some maneuvering to do, the Browns. And this is talking about a franchise who, for a long time, has gotten it wrong. And ever since they came back, this is really the renaissance and really the best time that the Browns have had just since they became the Browns again, since they created themselves for the second time. And Nick is an important part of that. The thing for him to go through, and he said he's talking through his agent, which is, about right for Nick. He's not a guy who really talks a lot. He's going to get this contract, which will be a big contract, and he could maybe get another one. But any contract, you're probably not going to play till you're almost 50, like Tom Brady, or 45. So this is really an important moment for Nick. If he's not going to go on the open market, if he's going to sign with Cleveland and stay there, $12 million a year, we're going to really depend on what the signing bonus is going to be. I get it, though. I mean, when you look at the Browns right now, as I was saying a minute ago, they are in a moment where I never thought I would say this, but the Cleveland Browns could win the Super Bowl as constructed. But without Nick, it becomes more difficult. And that he has been so dependable in his time there in this 3 years, they're going to want to lock him up and make him and Baker Mayfield be an important part of their future. You're talking about a franchise that, Georgia knows frustration. Well, the Cleveland Browns know frustration, that's for sure. John Elway with the drive. There's just been several different times that the Browns have been right on top of it and have lost. But Georgia's struggles have been recently. For the Browns, it's been decades. So they're only now really relevant in the NFL. For Nick, advertising that he wants to stay in Cleveland, that of course hurts his ability to get as much money as possible. What you'd want to do, in theory, is explore the open market. But you also don't want to push it too far. You don't want to wait until after the year where you're talking about 17 plus games where you could get hurt. And, Nick's been through an ACL before. He's been through damaging career injuries. And I think the smart move is, if he can work it out with the Browns, to go ahead and sign not an extension, but sign a new contract, get the biggest signing bonus you could possibly. I don't know what the signing bonus world would be for someone like Nick, but it would be a substantial amount of millions. And from that point forward, he'd be set for life. No matter if he got hurt, no matter if his production went down, he's saying Cleveland is where I want to be. And I get it. I mean, he understands that, he completely, when he talked with the media earlier this week, he completely talked about his comfort with what Cleveland has built in the time that he's been there. Nick is one of the most, people talk about humble. Nick is genuinely humble. There's no fake or inauthentic Nick Chubb. What you see is what you get. And he is popular in Athens and probably popular in Cleveland for the same reason, which is people they can feel that he's not full of it. A pecan log roll, you're going to get cream inside. It's got plenty of tasty cream. It is really, really good, these log rolls, these pecan log rolls from Stuckey's. Nick's not full of it. He's not full of delicious cream like those things are, or poop in the case of what I'm actually talking about. Nick is genuine. And he would tell you if you like a Stuckey's pecan log roll or not. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I like them. And he would, I remember running into him at the Belk Bowl after this amazing 2014 that saw him run out of his shoe against Clemson, and then that only being a couple of days before he would run all over Todd Grantham's Louisville defense. Nick has not changed. It was painful to be 8 feet away from him. I feel like I could still hear his screaming when he fell on the turf at Neyland. It was awful to see, because these guys put in a lot of work, a lot of manual labor for glory that is limited and fading. And I am a Nick Chubb fan. I'm not going to act like I'm not. I met him when he was younger, going into he was a junior in high school. But there's never been, Nick's never gotten in any trouble. You don't have to worry about his character issues. None of that stuff. That's why I really hope he gets as big a signing bonus as possible, because the years are not guaranteed on a contract. The only thing that's guaranteed on these contracts are the signing bonuses. That's it. And for Nick, hopefully he gets as much money as possible, because he's earned it. Anybody, honestly, in the NFL, and y'all can hate on this in the comments down below, those people, they have worked to get the money that they are getting, period. And Nick definitely has. So I'm cheering for him. And I know that there are a lot of Cleveland fans, man, they really would like the Browns to do well. That's going to involve Nick Chubb being involved in that.